Good morning everyone. Using the tabular guide given by Dr. Mirna Arbatino, we are going to compare and contrast the two research papers, namely first, Awareness and Acceptability of the Technological University of the Philippines, Vision, Mission, Goals, and Objectives, presented by BSIE students on October 2013. And the second one is Waste Segregation System in the Palm Ridge School, an assessment presented by BTTE students on March 2015.
Compare and contrast of research papers. The preliminary pages consist of title page, approval sheet, acknowledgement, abstract, table of contents, and list of illustrations. The two research papers follow the same format except for the page numbers. They both use combination of upper and lower letters, single space, and centered text format for the title page. The title was placed on top, the name of researchers were on the middle, and the subject, department, name of school, school address, and date presented were placed at the bottom. The title of first research consists of 15 words, which exceed the maximum total number of words, while the second research paper consists only of 9 words. For the approval sheet, only the signatures of the advisor and panel members were shown on the first research, while the complete name of the advisor and panel members with signatures were indicated on the second research. In the acknowledgement part, the BSIE group gives thanks to God, their families, 5 professors of TUPC, respondents, and classmates, while the BTTE group mentioned the following: God, parents, professor, advisor, sister, Palm Ridge school staff, and personnel and classmates. The abstract consists only of 161 words, while the other research consists of 258 words. The two research papers follow the same format in table of contents. The title of each chapter was in the uppercase, and the headings were typed in uppercase and lowercase format. The pages were started in Roman numerals, followed by Arabic numerals, and the alignment was left justified. There were separate pages for list of tables and figures that arranged in order according to page. In Chapter 1, there was an introductory paragraph which stated the contents of this chapter. Both research papers cited international, national, local problem and issues regarding their study. The statement of the problem was stated clearly. In significance of this study, the first research stated the benefits of this study, specifically to the university campus, faculty and staff, students and stakeholders, while the second research stated the benefits as a whole. The BSIE group answered the questions completely in scope and delimitation and stated it clearly in 2 paragraphs, while the BTTE group answered only some of the questions and the information was not presented in such a way of answering the 5 W's and 1 H. This chapter also started with the introductory paragraph. Both research papers presented all the related literature and studies. The second research presented also a picture of waste management hierarchy in the theoretical framework. In the conceptual framework, the awareness and acceptability of the faculty, staff, alumni, and students was clearly illustrated by the chart, while the flow of concepts in waste segregation management was not clearly presented by the chart. There were no hypotheses being compared and researched, because both research papers have only one variable. The last part of Chapter 2 is the operational definition. All the terms are being defined based on its use in the research, but the heading Operational Definition of Terms was being separated by its contents, which were on the other page. In Chapter 3, both research papers were used descriptive method. The first research presented a descriptive analysis research design. There were 177 total population of students, stakeholders, staff, and faculty members in the first research, while there were 100 total populations of female and male teachers, janitor, and canteen personnel in the second group. The research papers were done through the use of adapted questionnaire as their instruments. The procedure of the first research was incomplete, while the second one was able to express the step-by-step activities done in a short and simple manner that can be easily understood. Microsoft Excel and SPSS were used by the BSIE group, while the BTTE group used Microsoft Excel for the computation and analysis of data. For the presentation, analysis, and interpretation of data, there were 7 tables and 1 figure being presented, analyzed, and interpreted, and the mean and standard deviation were calculated. The second research was presented, 7 figures and tables, and then mean and standard deviation were also calculated. In Chapter 5, summary was stated clearly and completely in the first research, while in the second research there was a part that was not stated specifically. The findings were presented based on the statistical data, but we have noticed some typographical error on findings number 2 in the first words, while the other research consists of 258 words. The two research papers follow the same format. The conclusions were given based on the interpretation of the results. All the recommendations needed were provided. References were followed, the correct format of APA or APA, and all the sample, test, questionnaire, instruments, activities, and raw data used were attached on the appendices.